McCarthy. Couldn't find any bog shed. That's for our guest on the phone, who, well, we can now announce the bands who are the final surprise guests to be announced for this year's Six Music Festival. Here to tell us where they're playing and possibly why. James Dean Bradfield, welcome to the programme. How are you, young man?
Good evening, Steve. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. You covered, I've forgotten about this, but you covered the Manics, covered a McCarthy song, didn't you, at some point? Was it Red Sleeping Beauty?
We've done Red Sleeping Beauty, we've done We're All Bourgeois Now. We've done Charles Windsor. We've done three McCarthy covers. It's going to be our retirement package, a complete McCarthy covers album.
They are almost, so there's part of them which is prototype Manics almost, in a way. So I looked at the titles on their best of, and so you mentioned We're All Bourgeois Now, that's one of them. Should the Bible Be Banned? An MP Speaks. I mean, it's almost the Lost Manics album.
Their titles are amazing. Anti-Nature, like I said, they were just a band that we all loved. And they were a bit of tension, because we're also Guns N' Roses fans and McCarthy fans. So that's the strange nature of what, we were when we were teenagers. Yeah. But we absolutely loved them. They were on the Pink label, and Pink label always put out good stuff, They put out June Bright as well. So, they were a massive band for us, they had a song called Franz Hals, which we absolutely love, I'm a Wallet. The album is an absolute classic. Couldn't go on about McCarthy long enough. And Nicky Wires, the biggest McCarthy fan in Europe. So. Yeah.
How are you anyway? Obviously, it's been a long time since we've spoken. How have you been keeping? How's things?
Yeah, no, it's okay. For a solo album, for a Manics album, we managed to get big success with the Manics album, which was a beautiful present to us after lockdown. It came together so well, the album. We kept writing through lockdown, and then we kind of arranged to create this little bubble up in Rockfield, and we recorded the album in 2 weeks, basically, just about. And it was snowing up there. It felt magical. And then when it was number one, it was like, wow, with some kind of happy ending, Yeah. So that really did pick us up, because we're old folk, the Manics. We're all over 50.
Was it a sort of freer experience, a different experience writing this? Because, there's no, obviously, you don't impose deadlines on yourselves, I'm sure, or anything like that, but just doing it in the environment you were doing it, was it a different experience writing this?
It felt for us, I think it felt very concentrated, and it felt very important. So it didn't feel free in that sense, but I think you're right in a sense that you do feel a bit more liberated from that massive commercial angle that perhaps we've been involved in, quite a lot in the past, because, we were around before Britpop, and then we came through Britpop, and don't get me wrong, we still have that kind of ambition where the charts matters to us when we put an album out. Yeah. But this felt very much more concentrated. It felt a bit more pure. It felt as if there was a meditation on something, but without dragging people down with us, I think.
No, not at all. Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's the opposite in places, I think. We'll play a track from the record in a second, Don't Let the Night Divide Us, which is one of the tracks which I think... I have that down as one of the standout moments on the record, that.
Yeah, that was us trying to achieve our ambition of what it would be like if The Clash from the era of London Calling was trying to play an ABBA song. That was our method for that song. And that might sound a bit strange, but sometimes you kind of create games for yourself in the studio, and then it works out.
Yeah. You very kindly agreed to play a gig for us for Six Music as part of the Six Music Festival. Do you want to tell everyone where it's going to be? This is going to be a surprise to some people. Where is it?
It's a Club Eva Bach in Woodman Street in Cardiff, in central Cardiff. And, you've kindly allowed us to be on the bill, because you've allowed us to, have a little bit of wish for fulfillment where, it's one of the venues that we've never played.
What? Well, hang on, stop right there. You've never played Club? What?
I've never played club. No, we've played Chapter Arts, we've played Square Club, Hanging Gardens, Uni Great Hall Astoria, Motor Point, the CIA formerly, St. David's Hall, the Prince Valley Stadium, the Point, Coal Exchange, Cooper's Field. We've done them all.
How come? What on the way up were you too busy looking towards London, or did it just never come off playing there?
It just never came off.
Right.
You know, there was no. I don't think there was any great agenda on either.
No,
it's not to say there, but it never happened. Like, you know, we never played the Harlow Square Club. You know, I wanted to play there.
Yeah.
thing, but so it just it's lovely for us to actually achieve that, to actually play there, because I've seen so many gigs there. You know, I've seen Block Party there, Kate Le Bon, Foals, Racehorses, Strokes, Future of the Left. I've seen some amazing gigs there.
Yeah.
So it's actually just nice. It's a great room because Club Go Back has got that thing where it's a rarity and it's in the middle of the capital city.
Yeah.
You kind of feel as if you're going to a speakeasy when you go up the lane.
Yeah.
So it's accessible, but it still feels secret.
Yeah.
And it's remarkable that it survived, you know, in the age of progress, shall we say.
Yeah, and very important it does as well, because, as you say, it holds one of the things. You mentioned Harlow Square, but one of the things now that Harlow Square is just a pile of rubble, you know, one of the things that goes with it, it's all our memories, isn't it? I know, progress, things change, but there is something, a venue like that it stands for something, doesn't it, I think, Club?
It does, yeah, it does. It does feel like a part of your history. Just with the gigs I just reeled off.
Yeah.
I think perhaps I'm confused. Perhaps I saw one of those gigs at Nero's in Cardiff, or I saw one of those gigs at, like, the Square Club. But they're all part of your memory.
Yeah.
And they're all part of a selective memory. And it's strange. I was driving back from the studio here today, and I had a little playlist going for myself, and I put Demis Roussos right next to the Wolfhounds. I was thinking, God, I'm the only person playing Demis Roussos next to the Wolfhounds kind of in the world at the moment. You know, I got to try and feel good about myself, Steve. And I was just thinking, but that is because I'm playing those songs because they are memories. The Wolfhounds reminds you of Richey, and Demis Roussos reminds you of my mum. So yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, it is, you know, venues, music, all those things just encapsulate memories which you can't quite touch anymore.
Yeah. When was the last time? Because it's a lovely room as well, Club. I don't know what the capacity is, but when was the last time you would have played a gig in such a small, for yourselves, a small venue?
God,
that.
I mean, I think.
1964.
America? No. No, anytime we play a gig in America, which is in New York or Los Angeles.
Right,
you know?
right.
And I think we've done a couple like warm-up gigs in Japan where, you know, you're playing the main gig, but you do a little kind of warm-up gig in Yokohama or something.
Yeah.
So you have those moments, you do. And we're still used to playing those places because, yeah, it's kind of, you know, when we go to Paris, it's not as if, you know, kind of like, you know, the Parisians are just like, you know, shouting out from the rooftops at the Magic Features are playing in town. So, you know, we still have that experience.
It must be so different though, you know, because, you know, these days you don't have to worry about the difference. Here's the main difference that I can see from a band's perspective is if you're playing at the Motor Point, the difference is play the Motor Point Arena, play a small 300 capacity gig. Yeah. The small 300 capacity gig, there is every chance that the microphone's going to go flying and thump you in the mouth.
Yeah, I think the worst time that I ever had my tooth was chipped was in King Tut's, King Tut's in Glasgow. There's a guy kept pulling on the lead of the microphone and just kept hitting me right in the mouth all the time. No. And I remember thinking, you know, I'm sick of these club gigs. But then, of course, you know, the next day you wake up and the next gig is, you play the Wheat Chief in Stoke and it's amazing. You forget all about it now.
I'll let you go in a second because I'm sure. I guess the other so now we've announced this. So the gig is on Thursday, the 31st of March. I'll give you all the details. And basically, it's all you got to do if you'd like to be in the audience. All you got to do. We have a limited amount of tickets to give away, so they're free. But to be with a shout of getting a ticket for the gig, you first have to register at bbc.co.uk/6music festival, and it's over 18s only. I'm afraid it's 31st of March. You'll hear the gig on the wireless here. Do you? And I'm sure even now, James's phone is going with text from friends and family asking to be squeezed in on a guest list. That'll happen. But before you go, what are you thinking of playing? I don't want to give the game away, but what have you got? Any ideas? What sort of set are you going to do?
Well, I was in the studio with Nick and Sean and Clean today. I think we played round about 5 songs that we haven't played together on stage collectively for around about 20 years. Yeah. So a couple of songs in there we've barely ever played on stage. We tried out a couple of new covers, but we don't know if they're going to work yet. So we got round about 7 songs that we've never played on stage, or we barely ever played on stage. So there's going to be some old stuff in there, and obviously there'll be some of the new album in there, and the motorcycle song and the design song will be there, all that kind of malarkey. But we will be definitely throwing in quite a lot of surprises.
I love the fact you just added Jeopardy to the occasion. Yeah, we'll just do some things. We haven't done before. See how it goes. James,
well, I'm waiting to see if I've got any muscle memory left. We shall see.
Yeah, that's the point where people start shouting out songs which were obscure B-sides. But I haven't played that for 11 years. Joe, it's been lovely talking to you. Well, we'll see you down there on the 31st, because we'll be broadcasting the show from somewhere in the vicinity. So we'll see you at the end of the month. Give my regards to the rest of the boys, won't you?
I will, and make sure you have a nice supper. Take care.
Will do. This is the Manic Street Preachers.